There was this mole, raised mole on my arm for a long time. It was on the right arm, and it was in a spot where if you're dressing in the summer, it would just rub up against of the sleeves that I had. And then I noticed that one week everything started to feel like it was peeling off, but it was taking like several days, and then I noticed finally now it's faded completely.
Hey, Doreen, thanks for coming to spend some time with me today, my dear.
Thank you, Tracy, for inviting me.
I'm excited to hear about this part 2. What's going on, girl?
Okay, in this part 2, since the last time we discussed anything, I had noticed something different with the QTWE device. It, first of all, it gives, somehow I think it's a little stronger because I felt like I was floating last week and when I went to different places, but also it's there was this mole, raised mole on my arm for a long time. It was on the right arm, and it was in a spot where if you're dressing in the summer, it would just rub up against of the sleeves that I had. And then I noticed that one week everything started to feel like it was peeling off, but it was taking like several days, and then I noticed finally now it's faded completely, just a little tiny dot left, and that's it. And I was just looking amazed by it. And then there was also a cyst that I had on my back, and then it was around for a while, but now it's shrunk down. It's like just a small little tiny scab to heal up.
Wow, what kind of a cyst is it?
It was just like one of those that seemed to have a lot of liquid in it in the back, and I was just I noticed the feeling of a bump in the back for a little bit, and I thought, what is this? So I at least had a chance to find a way to feel it and feel that there was something there. So I just decided to use my device on the back, lay down at night and have it on there for the rest of the night. And then it did take probably about a month before it finally shrunk down to just a small dot. I was able to look at it in the back mirror and everything. And I
Wow,
was
how
just
long
like,
had you had it?
it seemed like it started a little bit. This one was just something that popped out too. It wasn't anything. I was thinking I was going through another detox because I remember having something similar to that before in a similar spot in the back years ago. And I didn't think much of it. And because it felt like that went away, obviously it wasn't bothering me anymore. But this time it seemed like it's coming back. It's like going years back into everything that I've ever had, just fully detoxing the body.
Wow. Isn't that something? How long had you had
Yes.
the mole?
Um, the mole on my arm, I've had it probably since my 20s.
Holy cow.
I just turned 52 last week.
Aw, happy birthday.
Thank you.
52, you're a baby.
Yep.
That's good. And now you get to have all these years go back 22 years.
Yes.
That's so fun. So how big was the mole? Just curious, because I have like little spots on my skin all over the place.
It was like on the forearm, not on the forearm, but up closer to the shoulder where you'd put on short sleeve shirts.
Oh, like right here?
But not on the back. It was like underneath.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, right there.
Oh.
And it was not as big as most would think, but it was noticeable, and it was just spotted there. And I was like, geez, is there anything I could do to get rid of it? And over the years, I tried to in so many different ways, and it would just stay there. It was like not going anywhere. Then got this device, and I noticed the one week that in the most raised moles areas that things started to feel like they were peeling off. There's a little bit of bleeding with it because, of course, it's coming off the skin.
Yeah.
It was almost felt like it was like a mini surgery or something.
Did you have to put the device on it, or did you just carry it around like normal?
Sometimes I would carry it around as normal, except for, when I had the cyst, I put it on my back. But for the mole thing, sometimes I just went and took the device up to that underarm. And when I knew that something was changing, just to get a little bit of a scan on it, but I didn't hold it up there for that long. And I'd almost forgotten about it, and it just started to fade out. And now it's just a little teeny
Pin.
tiny little pinpoint.
Wow. And I bet that will go away too.
Yes. I'm counting on it.
That is awesome, Doreen. How exciting. Do you have pictures for that before and after for your diary?
I wish I would have taken it before, but I had almost forgotten about that spot until I noticed it when the other day, like a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Oh, that spot is still there." And it was still that little bit of miniature size. And I thought, well, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I wish I would have snapped a shot then, but it was bleeding and I didn't know whether that would be good or not, but I wish I had. I could take pictures now of the smaller dot to see how far it goes down.
It'd be cool if you did that, take a picture of the smaller dot and then just draw like an area of how big it was,
Yeah.
so then you have a visual.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. And it's hard to get the visual on the back without, it's in a specific area though, the cyst in the back, because I didn't want to, it's kind of a private area. So I'm just,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't want to go too much with that. But then the other thing I noticed this week, because I had my sister's passing.
Oh, that's right. I'm so
And
sorry.
yeah, and I know that your dog was passing away, but somebody brought me to their home after the funeral, and because she wanted to stop and check on her smaller tiny dog. And when I got in there, because I had my purse on me and I had the QT Wave device in there, and I just sat down on the couch just having conversations, but I noticed this small dog was lying on the floor looking very listless and lifeless, but still alive. And I thought to myself, okay, I didn't really think about the QT Wave device being in the purse at the time. I just noticed that after about 30 minutes, the dog, because I was about less than 2 feet away from him, and suddenly in a half hour, he started picking himself up, stretching out all four of his legs, like in a really, really, nothing I've ever seen on a dog before. But then I haven't seen too many, pass away on that. And then he got up to walk, and he was walking, turning himself around, and came right by me by the couch. Didn't get up on it, but he just stood there, and it was like my purse was right near him, and it was like he was as if he could tell something was there.
Oh, wow.
I,
Like
I
he
didn't,
just knew.
yeah, and I didn't tell anybody about it because I was forgetting about that at the moment because of being heavily involved in conversation. But I just noticed the dog, and I was like, "Is this what it's doing?"
Wow.
And then
That's
it
really
walked
cool.
into another room. Yeah, and it walked into another room. I don't know how much longer he has, but it was interesting to see
Yeah.
that.
One of the girls made a carrier because I have one dog left.
Hmm.
And I only have my one device,
Hmm.
but when I get the white one, then actually I'm gonna start putting this with my dog Rocky to
Hmm.
help him. So she made a carrier for him. So I'm gonna share my device with him. And
Hmm.
I tried to put it on him and he wasn't liking it. So I figure I'll just wait a little bit and then keep trying to put it on him. But maybe that will help him because he's 12 and a half.
Yeah, that might do. I had somebody that talked about their cats the other night and how they benefited and how
Oh,
they were starting to jump around more, I believe, is what
oh,
that person
cool.
was telling me. That was unique, but I actually got to witness something similar with some dog being able to get up off the ground in a certain way. I don't know how they would. I think he might have been weak otherwise without even having this quantum device around him, because he
Wow,
looked like
that's
he
so
would have to be
cool.
he looked like he would have to be picked up and carried, is how bad it was. And here he just picked him up himself with the wave being around.
Wow. Did you tell your friend?
I didn't get a chance to, but I think she suspected that I had something in my purse. I kind of shared some information with a few of my relatives beforehand when it was coming. And I talked about it first with my niece, and my niece knows this lady. She was a friend of my sister's, and my sister sort of found out about it a while back. And she finally said, you know, oh, I just have my dog. And I don't know if she meant that she knew that I had the device in there, because I kept telling her, I have this device in my purse. I can't have it, I don't want to leave without it. And she said, I know. But we never really had the discussion about the quantum healing or anything before.
You're gonna have to send her the video.
Yes, I will.
That's fabulous, Doreen. And thank you for being a moderator. I love it when there's a lot of moderators on the Twine Zoom. So then the rooms are smaller and then we can really like talk more. So
Right.
you guys are awesome. I love those Twine calls. So
Me
fun.
too. Especially the more the merrier, so that we each have time to spend with individuals and be able to catch everybody, because sometimes I have to pull back on a couple that love to converse for a
Oh,
while. Sometimes I feel time limited, but other times when it's just 4 or 5 people, they're really pretty fluent.
mm,
I think they're starting to get the pace of everything.
yeah, it's awesome. I'm looking forward to tonight's call. It's going to be a special one. I missed last Thursday. Was it Thursday?
Mhm.
Yeah, that we missed.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
we both
so
missed.
yeah, so you missed it also?
Yeah, because that was the night of my sister's wake, and I wanted to make sure I was still there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
totally. I understand that.
yeah.
All right, my dear. Well, thank you so much for coming back and sharing those amazing add-ons. I mean, I want to now encourage people who've already come on to come back if they have something extra to add. So thank you for doing that. It was cool.
Yeah, and even though it was mostly for testimonies on humans, I decided to also throw in the testimony on pets, because many seem to have pets in our membership too.
Oh yeah, you're not the first.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember. I think it was Greg that came on talking about his fish that he thought was like on his last leg laying at the bottom of the bowl that came back to life.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right? That's like, oh my goodness. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
So, okay, beautiful girl. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy.